So now that we've actually got FileBeat up and running and imported some access logs into Elasticsearch, let's go back and use Kibana to visualize that data using some of the dashboards that come with FileBeat. It'll make life a lot easier, and it's pretty fun too. So let me show you how to get started. All right, so first we need to install some dashboards for use with Apache access logs and whatnot to make nice, pretty ways of analyzing that log data. Easy to do. First, let's cd into where FileBeat lives under user share FileBeat. And from here, we're going to say sudo FileBeat setup -- dashboards, and that will just import a bunch of pre-made dashboards for Kibana. And we'll wait for that to come down. All right, a couple minutes later, that succeeded. So let's go and play with it. So let's go back to Kibana at 127.0.0.1:5601. And I'll select my default workspace. And from here, we're going to go to Stack Management and add a new data view for that new log data that we just imported in the previous activity. So we're going to go to Data Views under Kibana. And it looks like FileBeat's already in here. So let's check it out. Cool, we already have the timestamp field selected already, so it looks like it already just did this for me automatically. That's very kind of it, isn't it? All right, so let's play with this. Let's go to the Discover tab under Analytics, and we'll change our view from Shakespeare to FileBeat. And it's a pretty common error when you're dealing with log data to have this scary message come up that say you have no results. It kind of sounds like there's no data there, but there is. The problem is, like it's giving you a hint here, is that the time range just isn't right. So by default, Kibana goes and just looks at the last 15 minutes of data. So unless I just imported fresh live log data from the last 15 minutes, I'm not going to see anything. Easy to fix, so let's go ahead and change that date range to something that's actually is covered by this set of logs. This is a very old log file. It goes back to 2017, so I'm going to change that date range to go back to the middle of 2017. So to set an absolute range, I'm just going to click on where it says 15 minutes ago and change that from relative to absolute. And for the start time, which is what I'm currently editing, I'm going to change this to 2017. And this log actually starts with, it turns out, April 29th. So let's change that to April and set that to 29th. And then where it says now, I'm going to change the end time also to an absolute time. And that is also going to be 2017. And it ends, it turns out, on May 6th. So we'll set that as well. All right, and now let's click on Update. And now we have data. That's much better. And look, it just kind of did the right thing. That's kind of neat. So by default, it's giving me this really handy graph of how much traffic, how many hits I'm getting over each time period here. It looks like it's basically every 3 hours by default. So I can see here just what the peaks and valleys are for my traffic on 3-minute time intervals within that date range that I just specified. So that's helpful. You know, again, I didn't have to do any work for that really. It just automatically did that. And I can go and drill in on any given peak if I want to see what was going on there. And that will give me an even tighter range of data there. Looks like it's just on 5-minute intervals now. But let's go ahead and change that date range back to what it was, starting back on April 29th of that year. And also note that the individual log entries are here as well for you to explore if you so desire. So you can dig into what the actual data is there. What else can we do here? So let's try to narrow down errors on the website and figure out where they came from. So let's add a filter for status codes, or just explore the status codes for now. So how do we find the status code? We've got all these 76 different field names here to choose from. Probably easiest just to search for status and see what we find. There it is, http://response.statuscode. So if we just click on that, automatically again we get this convenient histogram of how those status codes break down. And fortunately 500s didn't even make the top 4 here that we're showing. It says top 5, but for some reason it's only showing me 4. Let's go ahead and visualize that while we're at it, huh? So let's add a filter. And again, we're going to be dealing with the status code. Wow, so many to choose from. There it is, HTTP response status code. And we want that is 500. And let's save that filter. And we can see very easily here that there's this one spike of activity at the 3 a.m. hour on May the 1st, where I got a bunch of 500s. So let's dig into that. Let's click on that column and dig in further. And we can narrow this down further to around 5:40 a.m. is when that happened. So let's try and dig into what was going on there. Let's go back to Discover. Discard changes, get out of lens. And we're in that time zone again. I'm going to add that filter back in. And we'll search for that status result. It was http.status.something. There it is, HTTP response status code. And again, we'll set that to is 500 and just narrow this view down a little bit. There's our spike again. We can click on that some more. And here we can see a couple of examples of where that came from. So we can see that these two events came from, it seems, yeah, they appear to be, well, this one was a legitimate 500 error. They were getting an actual path to a real web page on my website, and the server crashed. So that might be indicative of an actual issue on my website. This one was actually from someone trying to log in, and I certainly wasn't trying to log in at 5 a.m. on that day, so that is probably indicative of some sort of attack on my site, which is not cool. So that's one way to drill in. Another way would be to just use those dashboards that we just imported. So let's play with those. Those are even more fun. So let's go back to the menu here and go to Dashboard. And look at all this. That wasn't there before. These are all these new dashboards that we just added as the first thing we did in this lecture. So let's find the one about, gosh, there's so many. Let's just browse here. We want FileBeat Apache and one that lets us visualize error codes. There it is, FileBeat Apache access and error logs. Let's check it out. And whoa, look at that. That's interesting. So let's open up our time range again here. It started on April 29th and ended on May 5th, was it? Close enough. Let that regenerate. And look at all this cool data. So we have this geographical map showing me where my traffic's coming from even. This is very much like Google Analytics or something, except we're running it ourselves on our own little computer here. So for free. Good deal. So you can see here that we have a lot of traffic coming from the United States. Grand total of 276 unique IPs, and a lot of it, for some reason, is coming from Washington, it seems, or that part of the country. Also, if we zoom out here a little bit, let's hide that a little. Let's go ahead and zoom out, and we can see that there's also a bunch of traffic coming from, looks like China somewhere, Europe, and anything else interesting? Pretty much scattered all over the globe here, really. And again, we can break down the traffic here. We have these handy charts here and pie charts explaining what's going on. We can look at our distribution of operating systems and browsers here. Looks like a lot of Firefox. That's surprising, actually. A little bit of Chrome. I mean, granted, this is 2017, so it was a different world then. And a lot of traffic from Windows, which is not too surprising. Very cool. So let's narrow this down as well. It turns out you can actually, so we can highlight specific status codes here, specific response codes, and kind of highlight them on that graph. Awful lot of 301s. What's up with that? You can enable or disable those dynamically. Let's say you want to dig into one of these in more depth. We could actually click on one of these little sections of the bar charts here and explore it further. So let's see what was going on here where we had a bunch of 301s for some reason. Where are those coming from? It automatically gives you some filters to apply there in that case, which is quite helpful. So if it wants me to, I can narrow that down automatically by that timestamp and that status code if I want to dig into what that specific time slice was going on. Let's apply that. And you can see now I'm looking at things at a much tighter time interval per 5 minutes. And I can see there's a pretty even distribution of these 301 errors happening. They kind of ramped up and peaked around a little after midnight, it seems, and then tailed off. But what are these things? So if we go down here, we can explore further what those URLs were. Looks like we had a bunch of them coming from just slash, people hitting the home page, and also trying to hit my RSS feed. Okay, that's interesting. So it would seem that some crawler was probably trying to hit my RSS feed and download my latest blog posts automatically, and they were getting back 301 errors in response from my server. So already I have some insight into what generated those errors and what caused them, and do I care about them? Well, maybe not. Someone's just trying to like crawl my site basically and doing who knows what with it. Let's go ahead and clear that filter out and reset our date range again. And we're back to our full view here. Very cool, but you can see there's a lot of power here, a lot of information to dig into, and this is all just out of the box in those standard dashboards. So they have one that's already made for Apache, and it works. Pretty neat. And I do encourage you to fiddle around with this some more, explore this, see what more data you can glean from it, and just play around to get more familiar with this dashboard. And to force you to do so, in the next lecture, I'm going to have a little exercise challenge for you to do to dig into the answer to a specific question. So stick with me and we'll dive into that next.